Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, uncharted desert under a sky ablaze with stars. Each star whispers secrets from epochs long forgotten, their light traveling across eons to reach your eyes. It is in this celestial expanse that we find ourselves drawn to the question, what lies hidden within the ancient scrolls of Nag Hammadi? Are they authentic keys to understanding humanity's spiritual heritage? Or are they fragments of myth and speculation woven into the fabric of time? These texts, unearthed in Egypt in 1945, have been both revered and contested, like cryptic maps leading to an undisputed truth buried beneath layers of interpretation. The query is the Nag Hammadi Authentic becomes not merely academic but deeply personal, an invitation to peer beyond surface-level narratives into realms where meaning itself takes on new dimensions. The Nag Hammadi Library, often described as a treasure trove of esoteric wisdom, contains writings attributed to Gnostic traditions, yet authenticity here transcends mere historical accuracy. To examine these texts is akin to gazing into a mirror that reflects not only our face, but also the architecture of our soul. What if these manuscripts hold more than words? They may embody echoes of universal truths obscured by centuries of dogma and distortion. In exploring their origins and essence, one ventures into a labyrinthine cosmos of symbols, metaphors, and paradoxes. Like archaeologists sifting through sand for relics, we must navigate the shifting terrain between illusion and enlightenment, asking whether what we uncover reveals something about the past, or something profound about ourselves. Consider the act of reading itself as a form of alchemy. Words transform into ideas, which then shape perception and reality. Within the pages of Nag Hammadi lies a tapestry interwoven with threads of mysticism, rebellion, and revelation. They challenge conventional paradigms, urging us to question how stories are told, and who gets to tell them. This inquiry is not confined to dusty libraries or scholarly debates. It spills over into collective consciousness, inviting each seeker to engage with questions that transcend time and culture. Is knowledge power when it remains veiled? Or does its potency lie in the courage to confront uncertainty? As we embark upon this journey into the heart of forgotten texts, let us approach with reverence and curiosity. For every page turned, every symbol deciphered, opens another doorway into the infinite possibilities of human thought. These writings beckon us to explore not just their origins, but the very nature of belief, truth, and existence. The essence of the Nag Hammadi texts lies not merely in their content, but in the profound questions they evoke about the nature of authenticity, truth, and human consciousness. These writings serve as a mirror reflecting both the inner workings of the individual soul and the collective psyche of humanity. At their core, they explore the tension between what is seen and unseen, known and unknowable, a duality that resonates deeply with the human experience. To delve into these themes is to embark on an odyssey through the shadowy corridors of existence, where light and darkness dance in eternal balance. One of the central motifs within the Nag Hammadi corpus is the concept of gnosis, the intuitive knowledge of divine truth. This idea transcends intellectual understanding, suggesting instead a direct, experiential connection to the sacred. Gnosis operates like a hidden flame, flickering faintly beneath the surface of ordinary awareness, waiting to be fanned into brilliance by those who dare to seek it. Yet this pursuit is fraught with paradox. The very act of seeking implies separation from what one seeks, creating a labyrinthine journey where the seeker becomes both pilgrim and guide. In this way, the text challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about enlightenment. Are we uncovering something external, or are we rediscovering fragment of ourselves? Another pivotal theme is the interplay between illusion and reality. The Nag Hammadi writings often depict the material world as a veil obscuring deeper truths, a construct designed to distract humanity from its true purpose. This notion echoes across spiritual traditions worldwide, yet here it takes on a uniquely provocative form. The text suggests that the architects of this illusion, be they archons, rulers, or cosmic forces, are not malevolent but rather part of a grand design meant to test and refine the soul. Such ideas invite us to reflect on our own lives. How much of what we perceive as real is shaped by inherited beliefs, societal structures, and unexamined habits? And if these constructs are indeed illusions, what lies beyond them? Embedded within these teachings is also a radical reimagining of authority and power. The Nag Hammadi texts defy hierarchical systems, positioning personal revelation above institutional dogma. They whisper rebellion against structures that claim monopoly over truth, urging individuals to reclaim agency over their spiritual destinies. This ethos feels strikingly modern, resonating with contemporary movements toward decentralization and self-determination. Yet it raises complex questions. Can freedom exist without structure? And how do we discern genuine insight from mere chaos? As we immerse ourselves in these core themes, we begin to see the Nag Hammadi texts not as static relics, but as living entities, pulsing with relevance for every era they touch. Their wisdom invites us to embrace ambiguity, to sit with discomfort, and to trust the process of unfolding. For in their enigmatic depths lies a call to transcend binaries, to integrate the fragmented pieces of self and cosmos into a harmonious whole. To explore the Nag Hammadi text is to enter a realm where symbols bloom like lotus flowers on the surface of an ancient, still pond. Each symbol carries within it layers of meaning, rippling outward to touch the shores of consciousness. These writings are not merely historical artifacts. They are allegories that unfold in the mind's eye, revealing hidden patterns and archetypal truths. To understand them requires more than intellectual rigor. It demands a willingness to surrender to their mythic resonance, allowing their stories to weave themselves into fabric of our inner worlds. Consider the recurring motif of descent and ascent, a cosmic journey mirrored in countless spiritual traditions. In the Nag Hammadi texts, this theme often manifests as the soul's pilgrimage through realms of matter and spirit. One such narrative speaks of Sophia, the embodiment of divine wisdom, who descends from Pleroma, the fullness of divine light, into the chaotic expanse of creation. Her fall is both tragic and redemptive, for in her separation from unity, she becomes a catalyst for humanity's awakening. This tale is not just a story. It is a map of the human condition, illustrating how estrangement from our source can lead to profound transformation. Through Sophia's journey, we glimpse our own struggles, the moments when we feel adrift in a sea of uncertainty, yearning to return to something ineffable yet undeniable. Another powerful symbol woven throughout these writings is the image of the seed. The seed represents latent potential, the spark of divinity buried within the fertile soil of existence. Like a seedling breaking through the earth, the soul must navigate layers of resistance to reach the light. This metaphor invites us to reflect on our own lives. What seeds have we planted, knowingly or unknowingly, and what conditions are necessary for them to flourish? The Nag Hammadi texts remind us that growth often requires darkness, a period of dormancy where unseen forces nurture the fragile beginnings of new life. It is here, in the depths of shadow, that the most profound metamorphoses occur. The serpent, too, emerges as a potent emblem within these narratives, embodying dualities of destruction and renewal, temptation and liberation. Unlike its vilified counterpart in other traditions, the serpent in Gnostic lore often serves as a guide, urging seekers to shed old skins and embrace higher states of being. Its coiled form suggests infinity, while its movement evokes the dynamic energy required to transcend limitations. In one allegory, the serpent whispers secrets to Adam and Eve, not as an adversary but as a teacher, illuminating paths obscured by ignorance. This reinterpretation challenges conventional morality, inviting us to question whether what appears dangerous might instead be a doorway to enlightenment. These symbolic threads intertwine to create a tapestry rich with possibility. They speak to universal experiences, estrangement, longing, rebirth, while remaining deeply personal. Reading the Nag Hammadi text feels akin to deciphering a dream, where each image holds significance far beyond its literal appearance. Their stories resonate because they tap into collective unconscious, drawing forth echoes of truths we may have forgotten but never truly lost. The wisdom encoded within the Nag Hammadi text is not confined to the ethereal realms of myth and symbol. It carries profound implications for how we navigate the tangible, everyday world. These writings, though ancient, offer insights that can illuminate our modern lives, urging us to bridge the gap between esoteric knowledge and practical action. To integrate their teachings is to allow their symbolic narratives to seep into the marrow of our existence, transforming not just how we think but how we live. Consider the theme of gnosis, the direct apprehension of truth. In a world saturated with information yet often devoid of meaning, this concept serves as a compass guiding us back to authenticity. Gnosis invites us to cultivate a deeper relationship with ourselves, encouraging practices of introspection, meditation, and mindful presence. It asks us to question the narratives we have inherited from society, culture, or even our own past, and to discern which ones truly align with our innermost values. This process is neither quick nor easy. It requires patience and courage, much like tending a garden where weeds must be pulled before flowers can bloom. Yet in doing so, we create space for clarity and purpose, allowing our actions to flow from a place of genuine conviction rather than conditioned response. The Nag Hammadi texts also challenge us to confront the illusions that shape our lives. They remind us that many of the structures we take for granted, economic systems, social hierarchies, even personal identities, are constructs designed to maintain order, but often at the cost of individual freedom. By recognizing these frameworks as malleable rather than fixed, we empower ourselves to reimagine what is possible. For instance, consider the workplace, often viewed as a rigid hierarchy. What if, inspired by the Gnostic ethos of questioning authority, we sought ways to infuse it with more collaboration, creativity, and shared purpose? Or reflect on relationships, where patterns of control or misunderstanding may arise. The text encourages us to see beyond surface-level conflicts, seeking instead the underlying unity that connects all beings. Moreover, the emphasis on personal revelation over institutional dogma has striking relevance in an age marked by polarization and distrust of centralized power. The Nag Hammadi writings urge us to reclaim agency over our spiritual and intellectual journeys, fostering a spirit of inquiry that transcends ideological boundaries. This call to self-determination resonates deeply in fields such as education, healthcare, and governance, where individuals are increasingly seeking alternatives to top-down models. Imagine schools that prioritize critical thinking over rote memorization, or communities that embrace decentralized decision-making processes. Such shifts require not only structural changes, but also a cultural shift toward valuing autonomy and diversity of thought. Yet, perhaps the most transformative implication of the Nag Hammadi texts lies in their invitation to embrace paradox. Life itself is rife with contradictions, joy and sorrow, creation and destruction, light and shadow, and these writings teach us to hold these tensions without seeking resolution. This perspective can profoundly impact how we approach challenges, whether personal or collective. Instead of resisting discomfort or uncertainty, we learn to sit with them, trusting that growth often arises from precisely those moments when opposites collide. In practical terms, this might mean approaching conflict with empathy rather than defensiveness, or viewing failure not as an endpoint but as fertile ground for reinvention. By weaving these insights into the fabric of daily life, we begin to embody the essence of the Nag Hammadi teachings, not as abstract philosophy, but as lived experience. Their symbols become tools for navigating complexity, their stories mirrors reflecting our own struggles and triumphs. As we draw this exploration to its culmination, let us pause and reflect upon the journey we have undertaken. The Nag Hammadi texts, with their enigmatic allure and profound wisdom, have served as both guide and mirror, leading us through realms of symbol, myth, and introspection. They have invited us to peer beyond the veils of illusion, to question the constructs that shape our reality, and to embrace the paradoxical nature of existence itself. In doing so, they have not only illuminated ancient truths, but also revealed something deeply personal, the latent potential within each of us to transcend limitation and awaken to a more expansive understanding of self and cosmos. To engage with these writings is to embark on a pilgrimage of the soul, one that requires neither map nor destination, but instead unfolds in the act of seeking itself. Their authenticity, whether historical or spiritual, is less important than the questions they inspire. For in asking is the Nag Hammadi Authentic, we are ultimately asking about the authenticity of our own lives. Are we living in alignment with our deepest truths, or are we merely shadows cast by the expectations of others? Do we allow ourselves to be guided by intuition and inner wisdom, or do we remain tethered to external authorities? These are not idle musings. They are calls to action, urging us to step into the fullness of who we are. The transformational power of the Nag Hammadi teachings lies in their ability to dissolve boundaries, not just between past and present, but between the individual and the universal. They remind us that we are not isolated beings adrift in an indifferent universe, but interconnected threads woven into the grand tapestry of existence. This realization holds the potential to reshape how we relate to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. It invites us to approach life with reverence, recognizing that every moment carries within it the seed of revelation. Whether in the quiet solitude of meditation, the shared laughter of friendship, or the challenges of adversity, we find opportunities to align with the divine spark that animates all things. Yet this alignment is not a passive state. It demands active participation. The journey of gnosis is ongoing, requiring vigilance, humility, and an unwavering commitment to growth. It asks us to shed old skins, to confront fears, and to embrace uncertainty as a necessary companion on the path to wholeness. In practical terms, this might mean cultivating practices that nourish the spirit, journaling, creative expression, acts of service, or simply learning to listen more deeply to the whispers of the heart. Each step forward, no matter how small, contributes to the unfolding of a greater narrative, one in which we play both author and protagonist. Let us carry the lessons of the Nag Hammadi text into the world, not as relics of a distant past, but as living truths that continue to evolve alongside humanity. May their symbols inspire us to see beyond appearances. Their stories remind us of our shared origins, and their paradoxes teach us to hold space for complexity. And may we, in turn, become storytellers ourselves, weaving narratives that honor the interconnectedness of all life and the infinite possibilities it contains. In closing, I leave you with this reflection. The quest for authenticity is not a solitary endeavor, but a collective odyssey. As you move forward, consider how your own journey might ripple outward, touching the lives of those around you. What seeds will you plant? What light will you kindle? The answers lie not in the stars above, but in the depths of your being, waiting to be discovered. Let this be your call, to seek, to transform, and to illuminate the path for others, just as the Nag Hammadi texts have illuminated ours.